Some days, a shower wipes you out for hours. But small changes in how you move through your day can change everything. So what actually helps when your energy runs out before your life does?
How can you make daily life easier with chronic illness?
Mate, the body's got a tank, yeah? And when you've got chronic illness, that tank's already half empty before you even get out of bed. So the whole game changes. You stop trying to push through and start thinking about how to stop the tank running dry. Little bursts of activity, then rest before you're cooked. Not after. Before. Sleep the same time every night because your body needs that rhythm. Keep meals simple, nothing that takes 3 hours and wears you out before you've even eaten. Watch what spikes your stress, loud places, too much screen, whatever sets you off. You're not trying to do more, little buddy. You're trying to do enough without crashing. That's the whole job. Fewer flare-ups, that's the win. Not perfect days, just more days where the tank doesn't hit empty by midday. That's what easier actually looks like for the body.
How can you make daily life easier with chronic illness?
Yes. Well, the most useful reframe here is to treat your daily capacity as a finite resource budget, not unlike a household financial ledger. You have a limited allocation of energy, attention, and physical tolerance each day, and every activity draws from that allocation. So, the logical approach is to identify which activities cost the most, and ask whether they can be redesigned, batched, delegated, or eliminated entirely. Grocery delivery, automated bill payments, default meal plans. These are not indulgences, they are deliberate cost reductions. And crucially, one must also track. A simple symptom log lets you identify triggers, spot patterns, and build what I would call decision rules. If I attend a social event on Saturday, I must reduce all non-essential commitments on Sunday. The trade-offs become intentional rather than accidental. Put simply, you stop spending energy by accident and start spending it on purpose.
The most effective thing you can do is remove the need to make decisions in the moment. When you are already symptomatic, deciding what to eat, where your medication is, or what the bare minimum for the day looks like, that all costs energy you do not have. So you build the structure in advance, a morning routine that is the same every day, an evening routine that prepares for the next morning, a medication station that is always in the same place, a repeating weekly meal plan. And critically, you also design what I call a bad day version of each routine. A minimal hygiene kit, freezer meals, a simplified work task list. Rest scheduled into the calendar as an actual appointment, not as something that happens if time allows. You do not wait for a bad day to figure out how to manage it. You plan for it before it arrives, so that when it does, the structure already holds.
How can you make daily life easier with chronic illness?
Okay, so here's what I think is actually fascinating about this. Your body is basically giving you data every single day, and most people are not collecting it. Like, what if you treated your own life as an experiment? You try one change, just one, for 2 weeks. Maybe it is using voice to text instead of typing. Maybe it is a different meal prep day. And then you actually check, did that help? Did that make things worse? Because here's the thing, what works for one person with chronic illness is genuinely different from what works for another, even with the same condition. And there are so many tools that people dismiss because they feel like giving in, mobility aids, accessibility settings on your phone, ergonomic setups. But technically, those are just solutions to a puzzle. Also, asking your doctor better questions or getting a second opinion, that is data gathering too. You are not failing. You are running a really important experiment with a sample size of 1.
Bro, okay, here is the thing nobody says enough. If rest is just lying there feeling bad about not doing stuff, you are not actually going to rest. Like your brain is still running hot. But if rest has something genuinely nice in it, a warm shower, a playlist that actually slaps, a show you love, sitting outside for 20 minutes, whatever it is for you, then rest becomes something you actually want to do. And that means you actually pace properly instead of just pushing through until you crash. Honestly, the comfort stuff is not the reward you get after managing your illness well. It is part of how you manage it. Low-effort hobbies, easy social moments, cozy little rituals, all of that keeps you connected to why life is worth showing up for. Not gonna lie, a day that has even one genuinely nice moment in it is way easier to get through than one that is just survival tasks back to back.
How can you make daily life easier with chronic illness?
My child, there is a quiet wisdom in learning to work with what you have rather than mourning what you had. The body, when it is carrying a heavy and persistent load, does not need to be pushed harder. It needs to be understood more gently. The most lasting changes are rarely the dramatic ones. They are the small, unglamorous adjustments. A routine that holds you on difficult mornings. A decision already made so you do not have to make it again. a moment of genuine comfort woven into the day, not as a luxury, but as something that reminds you life still holds softness. When we stop fighting our limits and begin designing around them, we find a kind of steadiness that force alone could never provide. Energy spent wisely goes much further than energy spent bravely. The life that is easiest to sustain, my child, is the one built honestly around what you actually have.
If you made it this far, you're gonna want to see what comes next. Hit subscribe so you don't miss our next video, and click the video on screen now to keep learning more. See you in the next video.